An update on the Crafsman figure. This is a prototype right there, and that's just basic pegs. We were talking about ways that you could possibly take and do a Glyos peg on a Crafsman figure. There's been several ideas presented, and I want to say a shout out to all the Glyos producers who just have been so wonderful and welcoming and sending me these additional figures. This one from Marty Hansen, and that's just crazy. Spaced out designs right there. The Geodraxus figures. Look at this. And I did not realize this from the pictures online, but you can sit here with these and take, let's see. And you get to looking at it, and then you realize, oh snap, there right there. I had been talking to Tim at Vader Toys. He sculpted this digitally and sent that to me, just wonderful. And so my gut feeling was, why don't we just make this available for download for people? But there's some pros and cons to the different ways. Uh-oh, somebody here. But there's some, there's pros and cons to the different ways and different ways to looking at this. But, regardless of which way we go and regardless of whether or not we do release the Crafsman figure, I wanted to show y'all, just for anybody interested in doing your own figures, how that you can do this with a Glyos peg and a resin-cast. The goal is to get you a peg in wherever between the two parts is you need, in this case an arm and a shoulder to the body. But as you can see how that peg is made. You can't just drill a hole into the arm and then stick the peg in there, because it's got that little ring around it. See that? It has got to be able to snap in. So this is what you can do. So you just take you a peg and you can cut it in half, and there's even a better way than doing this right there. My friend Marty told me about, but I'm going to that's probably some industry trade secret. But what you can do is cut the peg in half and then stick half of it to the arm and half of it to the body. And that does not make any sense at that point, does it? And if you don't have a peg, you could just cut one, from a figure. And so anyway, so you glue one to the arm, glue one to the body, and then you make molds of those parts. So that's what your mold looks like. See that? Kind of crazy looking. But what you do is, before you pour the resin into it, stick you a peg in there, and stick you pegs in there right there. Alright, so you come in there and you put that in your mold, because there's going to be a place where that fits exactly, because you made a mold of that with a peg in it, halfway. Then you just put a whole peg in it, whole peg. Alright, and then the arm one, that peg becomes part of that resin arm. And on this one right there, put you on some mold release. Alright, then you pour your resin down into your molds, and you have got you a tough PVC joint right there. And then you should be able to take you some pliers and twist and work loose and pop out the ones from the shoulder, and therefore you got a matching socket. And that goes right up in there. So theoretically, as long as your resin is just, somewhat tough, then you should have you a Glyos joint that is just as strong as any other Glyos joint on your figure. So there you go. So that's just for anybody interested how to do that. That is I think a pretty good process for getting you a Glyos peg in your own resin cast figures. All right. Probably the biggest issue would be getting hold of enough of these pegs, you know. I think that's probably the biggest concern about making you some Glyos peg figures. But it can be done. This is the primer version of the Crafsman figure. And what I did for this particular special one is whenever you print something, 3D print, normally you want to print it like something like that right there, kind of mostly flat at an angle. It's going to print quicker and it's going to be better for you support wise and things. So normally you would print it like that. Actually it's going to be coming up like that. But see all the little bumps and things that you have to sand off from your supports. So I got the idea to do, actually my daughter gave me this idea to do this because she's a lot smarter than what I am. She said, Craftsman, Dad, can't you just print it standing up? And I said, baby, you are 100% right, because, you know, look at that. I ain't got no little stubbies on the back to sand off. The only thing, you know, you just got to be ready for to print overnight, basically. But to me, it's worth it. I used a 0.0025 millimeter print lines on there to get the finicity that I could, but I still had some little areas that I need to sand a little bit. And then I primered it several times with some primer. And I got that Tamaya potato tomatoes. And so that's the arms right there. But you know, that's what that looks like. I just want y'all to see. I've been showing y'all all the other prototypes. I have not showed y'all the actual one that I sort of worked on trying to get, you know, ready for molds. But like I said, that's up in the air right now. I don't really know what we're going to do with the Crafsman figure at this point. So, but you can see the difference. And like I said, not having to sand all that was a big deal. And just printed it like that right there. I let it go. Came out the next day, and Crafsman just hanging out. And I got messages recently about Crafsman. You did shop update 486. How come I ain't seen the other 485 of these? I do have exclusive videos that I do for my direct supporters, you know, every week. Just random stuff that I just be piddling with, and this ain't, you know, it's not a full video. It's just a little something extra. I just picked 486 based on the 486 computer, you know, so that was just a reference to that. So don't worry, you have not missed 480 some odd of these, you know.